I want that body.
Oh, God, here we go.
No, I want that body,
We have
baby.
no idea what's happening.
Stay with
We're
me,
unraveling,
girl.
folks.
Yep.
This is what it looks
We're
like.
back.
We're back. Welcome back to the Brotherly Love
Back in the
Podcast.
podcast groove.
It's exciting. I'm very happy to be here with you guys today.
back.
We are happy.
Yeah, back in the podcast groove.
The pod.
The pod.
What
Keep
is
saying
with the pod?
He keeps saying that. These horrible videos. And he makes us say it. The pod.
The pod, baby.
Like, you're so weird.
We're
You're
back.
such a weirdo. We're back. We're back.
It's Kiss, the band, back in the New York groove.
Yes.
I reestablished it.
Wow.
For the Brotherly Love Podcast.
Wow, what a plethora of diverse music knowledge you have to pull from.
Kiss.
What an idiot.
It's not like Etta James or somebody. It's Kiss. Yeah. You know, classic.
Classic.
That's Aerosmith.
Guys.
I'm back.
Oh boy.
Okay, well, listen, I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. It was a very quick 50 minutes.
It was.
Guys,
have
how's
another-
everything been going?
Another sip of my coffee.
Great. How's everything been going?
Been going pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped.
Phrases
We
in
happen to
general.
have somebody in the room with us today who happen to have a catchphrase. They're kind of a well, they were. Andy, you got some weird powers. You got some superhuman strength. You can move the furniture above
We're
us.
going to have to find a new studio. We'll be right back. No, go ahead. Anyway.
The raw music just
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
on. And like a black screen. We'll be right back. The Lawrence brothers are haunted.
White Lotus strikes the Lawrence brothers.
Oh,
We have a haunted set.
oh my gosh.
It's like, oh, jeez. Anyways, you were saying?
Yeah, I was saying that they're a what are they? They are one of those very special things in an actor's career where
It's
something
weird.
they say becomes this catchphrase that catches on, and everybody's going, you know, what was there was the Fonzie.
Well, the Fonz, that was like,
Hey!
hey,
Yeah,
When we
and-
walk in, and that was, again, we were kids. We saw that like in reruns.
Yeah,
but
reruns. Yeah, we
Happy
didn't know that.
Days,
Happy
iconic
Days
Fonzie
had-
moment.
Was
he
that the
walks in.
first? Or what was the first catchphrase? Like, what started the whole catchphrase?
There was a Mick
thing?
and
Did you guys ever research this? Should we just Google it?
I don't know, but you know
Google
what?
it, Joe.
Honestly,
I'll Google it
No,
while you
hold on.
talk.
You guys Google it. Send
No,
us
we
some
need to know,
information.
too.
No, we're not. We don't do anything on this podcast. All we do is talk.
Maybe I'll just ask ChatGPT.
Oh,
God.
ChatGPT.
Matt's got a bunch of new AI friends.
I do. There's like 12 of them.
Wait a minute, guys. I saw an ad, not to get off topic.
Midjourney.
Hold on. We will come back to this for a minute because the catchphrase are very important.
Oh,
And
yeah,
of
this
course,
is huge,
Near
actually.
and dear to me. But I was looking through the IG, right? And I'm a car guy. I'm a car enthusiast.
Oh, I think I know
I'm
what
a
you're going to
car
say. Did it happen to do with a
freak.
Lamborghini?
Had to do with some weird car that says the first virtual car you can own in the metaverse.
Yeah, an NFT.
Yeah,
That's NFT
But the car was
technology.
pretty dope. It kind of looked like a combination of like an old Dodge Viper and like a new Aston Martin.
Very cool.
But it was pretty dope. But then I realized it wasn't a real car. It was a virtual car. So you know what? No thanks.
Well, see,
Anyway.
but this is the connection. And you're right. And this is what everybody's thinking
Matt
right
showed
now,
me,
too.
Matt showed me the car. He's like, look, this is how you drive in the metaverse. I'm like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make any. You don't even
Here's the
drive.
problem.
amazing driver.
It takes a little imagination and a little
Yeah.
dreaming at this moment.
You're
But
in
think
the
about
middle
this
of
way. Think about this, guy.
imagination,
Look
right
at-
in the middle of my what?
Look at sci-fi, right?
Yeah.
You look at the way it's going. Eventually, if we don't, if we continue on the path that we are on,
We
are
will be
going-
connecting our ponytails to trees and turning blue.
That would
Wait
be,
a minute,
That
that's
would be
weird.
amazing. I wish we would go the way of Avatar.
Somebody's got to make a movie about that. That's brilliant.
James Cameron, he's a genius.
Well, I don't know if he could do it, but maybe we could pitch it to him.
No, but I wish it would go that way. But no, but the way we're going is more Matrix style, which is the real world becomes less enticing,
Right.
than the actual Matrix.
They did it in
itself.
Demolition Man too.
What? Then the
Remember Demolition Man?
Yes.
Remember when he puts on the?
Yeah, well-
by the way, Demolition Man. If you haven't seen
Great
this movie,
movie.
way ahead of its time.
Great movie.
Amazing movie.
But
yeah,
everybody's saying the same thing, and that is we need that lightning in a bottle moment where the metaverse through app, VR goggles, something
Right,
that
right.
turns it for everybody into a reality where they go, oh, I get it. I can go and actually shop for cool things,
Yeah.
try them on,
Yeah.
actually have a house on an island.
Right.
And when the technology gets good enough, as Elon Musk puts it, right now it's like the communication, it can go through the size of something like a straw.
Right.
But imagine that information exchange the size of a river. Wow. Now, look how good video games have gotten from
Right, right.
Pong to, or Pog, what was it, Pong? Pong was the first.
Pong, yeah. Pog's the drink.
Yeah.
Passion orange
Right,
guava.
Pog.
That's from Hawaii.
Favorite drink from
amazing,
Hawaii.
amazing. Pog
We were
is a great
kids. We
drink.
used to do, anyway,
But
when that information
Pong,
stream is
yeah.
as big as a river, you're not going to be able to determine the difference
I
between
still miss Madden
reality
95.
and the metaverse.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a ways off, but it's very interesting. But no, you were onto something. AI.
Yeah.
This is huge.
I thought we were on to a catchphrase.
Well, we were
but
actually,
I guess we've.
but
we're
let
side-
Matt, let Matt
let's just
finish.
get
He's
AI.
sidbarring here on his.
Now
on his,
AI. Now
thing.
AI has had that moment.
You guys want to join me for a short nap? Do so now.
AI has had that moment with ChatGPT from OpenAI, which is a company that Musk created.
Right.
It's an open source. That's why it's OpenAI. Now, the minute that Microsoft bought it, it's not open sourced anymore.
Right.
And now it's getting out of control.
Right.
And it's exactly what he said. But here's the thing that relates to us. I just came across the
What?
other day. It was like my mind just opened up, and oh my gosh, this is really wild. Not only can AI help you create TV, movies,
Right.
score them, write them, it is already going to become the new auto-tune like it is in music
Right,
for
right.
directors with actors.
Right.
So now, if he knows that we're running out of time, the director, I mean, knows we're running out of time, we got lighting issues, well, I can fix that, obviously, with things. But now, the actor didn't cry in the take right the moment that I need him to
Right,
cry. Now
right.
I can do that with AI,
Right.
and the audiences will not be able to tell the difference. So like what auto-tune did for singers and how now it's like everybody auto-tunes their
Right,
voice.
yeah,
in fact,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
hard to put a live record out because it sounds so
weird.
detracted
Right.
from everyone else's voices these
Right.
days. Same thing's gonna impact literally actors
Wow.
right now, and it's gonna
Sure,
start
I
quickly.
couldn't cry for you in that.
And that's
take.
just the
no worries.
the
we
tip
got
of the
it.
iceberg.
Oh my God, I'm a brilliant. Brilliant. This guy's crying in every freaking
No,
scene.
you know
How
what
does he
it'll be-
do it? I
you
ran
know-
out of tears halfway through. The
You know what
AI
it-
took over.
Thanks.
happening.
So I wanted to say we had a
What?
we had a catchphrase to talk about.
Well, we did. Wait
yeah.
a minute. Actually, I was going to tie it back in because you said lightning in a bottle.
Yeah,
Right?
there you
Okay.
go.
So
what's that
catchphrases-
moment that takes the career?
Right.
Wow,
So
guys.
catchphrases are
well done.
Thank you. Are lightning in bottles.
Well
they really
done.
are. And you don't know when they happen.
Huh.
And
Holy
believe it
cow.
or not, they were actually slow burning viral moments before social media, right? 'Cause
True.
You didn't know what happened.
You're right. It was like the precursor to that kind of information getting
Right.
through people, but
and
it took a lot
becoming
longer.
a trend. Right. It
Yeah.
took a lot longer. And it was a slow lag. So when it hit you or it hit the network and they said, wait a minute,
Yeah.
everybody in the country, everybody in the world saying this line, then they start to play to it. In today's world, you would find out in a matter of seconds it's called a trend, right?
Yeah.
And you're trending. But
You're
that's what
right.
started to happen. So you're right. They had the Fonzie's A.
But
They
what
had-
was the first one?
Well, one of the earlier ones, I
What
think
did
was
Robin
actually...
Williams did one?
Well,
in
Nanu
Oh,
Nanu.
that's
Nanu
right.
Nanu. Nanu Nanu from Mork and Mindy.
No.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
so
no.
great. That was so
But wait,
great.
there was another one too. Believe it or not, John Travolta, who we all know and love, he's an
Yes.
amazing guy.
From Welcome Back, Kotter.
Welcome Back,
Oh,
Kotter. Remember
yeah.
that? He said, "Oh my God, Mr. Kotter."
and then,
I
and
can't
then
even
we could
believe
go
it,
back
Mr.
to
Kotter.
Ricky
I can't even
Ricardo.
Yeah, Lucy.
Oh!
I'm home.
Yeah, so basically, I think
Great.
catchphrases have existed since the beginning of time.
Since the beginning of television,
Of television.
or as we like to call it, time.
And maybe it even goes earlier back into live performances.
It definitely goes.
bet you it does.
Shakespeare?
Yeah,
I mean,
come on.
Hey, you're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, to be or
Jeez.
not to be. I mean,
Welcome to the
to
party.
be or not to
That's,
be.
My
that could
Lord.
be one of the first.
Literally, that's a catchphrase.
How did
we
it
still
take
use
us
it today.
this long to get
You know,
here?
another catchphrase, and more like a saying, would be like,
Whoa.
"What?
How long did it take us to
Wow, how long did it take us to get here?" You
Now
know
you
what your brother just
see-
said? He just said, he didn't say it right, but he said, "Whoa, how long did it take us to get here?" Now, I would have said that by saying, "Whoa, how long did it take us to get here?"
Oh,
Did it.
Round of
Only
applause.
for the only for the exclusive podcast audience.
We
would I
don't
reveal
get
that.
those very often.
I don't say them very often. I charge thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
to
corporate
say that
gigs
word.
only. For those.
Corporate
Yeah,
gigs
yeah.
only.
Google's not
That's
helping
right.
me, by the way.
No,
Just,
no.
That's what I was doing.
It's okay.
and it's
Don't
not.
say that.
Google always helps us. Always.
Always.
But no, the crazy
Yes.
thing about Whoa, that was an amazing thing. And I'll tell you something, that was in the script. And I know I've said this a few times, but it was in a script. And at the time, in 1993 or 4, it was, Keanu Reeves was all the rage, right? As he still is.
yeah.
But he was coming off of Point Break and he was coming off of Speed. And he would say the version of Whoa, and it was like, whoa.
Oh, yes.
Are you telling me there's a bomb in that bus?
Pretty good, Joe.
Whoa. Right? I'm not free, Victoria. whoa. Okay, so it doesn't matter what period he was acting in. He sounded the exact same.
I love him. By the
I
way.
love him too.
I love him.
Doesn't
Yeah, he's
matter.
super
Love him.
cool.
Watch a movie,
He's
Walk
the
in the
coolest.
Clouds. It's a period piece. It's a period piece. I don't know if Keanu knew that though, but it's a period piece. I'm not free, Victoria. I'm not free. You're like, isn't this like World War II? I don't know if it's Spicoli from, I don't know if the whole surfer vibe had sort of transcended time and space yet, but
Yeah.
apparently for him it did. But anyway, so look, but that's Keanu Reeves' woe, right?
Yeah.
So it was iconic. And that's how they wanted me to say it as Joey Russo on Blossom. So they wanted me to try to tap into that, right? Because Joey was an idiot. He was adult sort
Yeah.
of character. And
A
he
lovable
came in-
idiot, though.
Oh, great. It was
It's
awesome,
the best
dude.
part.
It was so
In fact,
cool.
just to break off for a second. The whole, if you're going to be an idiot, you got to be a lovable idiot, especially
right.
on a comedy.
That's right.
And the lovable idiot is usually the breakout character.
You're
of the
absolutely
show.
right. It was on Welcome Back, Kotter. It was on Happy Days with the Fonz. It was in Friends with Joey.
Well,
Tribianni.
wait. There's a little story behind this.
There is a little
actually.
story behind
Okay,
that,
so
actually.
I mean, you could say what you want, but Joe was doing the show called Blossom.
Yep.
And I'll never forget it. We were shooting on this lot, and it was called Sunset Gower.
That's right.
What is it called now? It's
Sunset
still there.
Gower.
Sunset
Sunset
Studios?
Gower. Sunset Studios, maybe.
think they
or something
might
like
have
that.
changed the Gower.
Yeah, the Gower, because it was
Yeah.
on Gower and Sunset. Anyway,
Still on Gower.
it was a really, really cool lot back in the early 90s.
Yeah,
for
90s through the
sitcom.
2000s, yeah.
There was Friends there.
Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince.
Yep. Blossom.
Blossom.
Yep.
What else
Several
was
other
there?
shows.
Yeah, several other shows.
Sidebar, they also did pickups for the original, I guess it might have been Batman Returns, the second Batman movie there on one of the
did.
sound
The Penguin
stages.
ones, that's right.
And I
Yeah,
remember
that's
as a little,
right.
because I love Michael Keaton as Batman, he was like my hero, and I remember I went to visit
The
Joe
best
on set,
Batman.
and they open up those big stage doors, and the smoke comes billowing out, and then all of a sudden Michael Keaton comes out without the cowl, but with the whole suit on, and I was just
The
like,
cowl?
the cowl, that's Batman, the cowl,
Yes.
and so he had the
bust.
helmet off, or
Yes,
whatever you want
the
to
head
call it,
bust.
the
It's
headdress
It's crazy cool when the doors opened too. It was weird because it was like, bum, 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 bum,
Or at least it was in his mind. It must have been an amazing moment.
In my mind, that was
That was
happening.
an amazing
still
moment.
to this day, and I'll go ahead and say it, he really is the best Batman in my opinion. I'm just saying it. He's the best Batman. I can't wait to see this Flash. Dude, where he comes back to Batman. All right, anyway, so go ahead. So you were saying the story. Lovable idiots. which
So
is true.
anyway, we were there. Joe was on Blossom, and I was doing this pilot or something. It wasn't.
were. What
it
were
was
you doing
I
there?
don't know.
You were doing something.
Some kind
there.
of pilot.
Yeah, yeah.
Also,
Anyway-
sidebar, I later ended up doing a movie with Michael Keaton.
You did.
That was, all right, so sorry, go ahead.
Called Frost.
Called Frost, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
very cool.
He became a snowman.
He was Snowman.
Not quite Batman, but
Yes, close.
he was a man. He was a snowman.
Yeah.
What about Batman?
And
Was he
Henry
not-
Rollins was my dad.
Wow.
I got a great Henry Rollins, but
Okay.
we don't have to go.
So
Can we
Anyway-
get back to me for a minute,
Anyway,
please?
this
Matt
is-
was
Sure.
going to tell a great story.
We're
about
not.
me.
We're not trying. It's not like we're trying to take credit here or anything. But this was the formula.
No,
So
it's-
the newest and most successful version of that formula was Blossom, and was your character as the lovable idiot on that
right.
show.
Right. They actually compared it a lot to John Travolta's character. There was
They
a lot
did.
of
There's a
talk
lot of that,
actually
'cause your hair,
of
too, you
doing
guys had a very similar
doing a
vibe.
Welcome Back Kotter movie.
Right.
Quentin Tarantino was going to direct it because he was a big fan of John's.
That's
Obviously,
right.
put him in Pulp Fiction, went to bat for him, and relaunched John's career.
Yeah.
Like in John, I mean, like actors should never really go away, but you go up through ups and downs. John came back, and I mean, he was just incredible.
that is
in
so sick. But could you imagine what would a Quentin's version of Welcome Back Kotter been?
Woo! I don't know, something dope.
Samurai
Epic.
swords
Yeah,
and
yeah.
epic.
So
Heads
and
exploding
I'll
and
never
what the-
forget. I think there was some article that came out, or he was on the Tonight Show or something, and they asked him. They said, "So you're thinking about Welcome Back, Kotter?" And this is obviously before my time too, but for all of you who don't know who that is, look up Welcome Back, Kotter. It was a big hit show in the '70s.
It's a sitcom.
Launched John Travolta.
Yeah.
But at any rate, and they asked, I think, Quentin who he'd want to play Vinnie Barbarino, who's the character that John Travolta played, and he said me.
Wow,
Because
dude, that's super cool.
it was crazy. So anyway, but
I feel like it would have turned into like a kindergarten cop. Quentin's version of Welcome Back Kotter.
maybe a lot of murder.
Like some crazy,
That
like
would've been cool,
Cotter,
actually.
Cotter's like
Actually, that's
some
kinda cool.
insane, like
Yeah, this high school is never
badass.
gonna be the
yeah,
same.
And they,
Yeah.
killer.
Yeah, Kill Cotter. Wait, what? No, Welcome Back, Cotter. No, Kill Cotter. And then he did later. He did Kill Bill. So,
We should shorten it to Cod.
yeah, Kill Cod. So it's like
Or Cod
Cape Cod.
Kill.
Yeah, Cape Cod Killer. Wait, what? Now we're not even in a high school anymore.
That's
No.
cool.
So at any rate, you're absolutely right. That was the lovable, dumb jock.
Yeah,
if he's
it's a
innocent,
great- if he's innocent.
innocent,
Right,
can
'cause
get
if
away
he's
with anything.
not,
well, because
It's just
All right,
dangerous.
all right, so
all these characters are
the point of
Loveful
all this
jock,
is-
you got to They're telling you to say it.
I didn't finish my story.
Oh my lord!
No, I didn't though. You want me? I mean, I started this whole thing. Do you want me to just
You
not
did.
finish
No,
it?
finish it, because I didn't even finish my story, but I'll finish it after you finish your story.
I'll finish my story.
I
then
haven't even
Joe
gotten
finishes
to
his
start a
then-
story.
You have no
then-
interesting
then
stories.
you get to start your story.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You can go back to
don't
your
worry.
slow man movies.
We're
Michael
almost
Keaton,
there,
okay?
and
Can
don't
we
worry.
just get done talking about me first?
I got a great Henry Rollins.
We'll get to
story.
by episode 4. Don't worry.
Yeah, we will. Go ahead.
So, and then, but they were having a little bit of an issue with that. The friends, they were doing their pilot. It was their first episode, and they came to do it at that. Or it was like, maybe it wasn't the pilot, but it was like their first episode. It was one of those two. I don't know. They were early on.
Yeah.
They were doing it, and they were working. I remember they were having a little issue with the fact that their lovable jock was not, it was maybe riding on the line of being a little not.
It wasn't hitting. It wasn't hitting.
It wasn't hitting.
Right.
We got
And
30
so
we got
they
30 we're gonna
came
wrap this up.
over as a cast.
That's right.
To watch one of your run-throughs. I think it was like a Thursday run-through,
Yep.
like the one right
Yep.
before, the network run-through right
Right.
before. So
Right.
the lights are down, everybody's there. And I happened to be working, and I came over
That's right.
to see you. And I'll never forget standing there and watching Jennifer Aniston,
Matt LeBlanc.
Matt LeBlanc.
Yep. David
and
Schwimmer.
David Schwimmer, and
Matthew Perry.
I don't. For some reason,
Was
I
he-
don't think
I think
Perry.
he
No,
was there.
it was
Courtney Cox was
the
there.
Bond.
Oh, Lisa Kudrow
Lisa Kudrow.
was
Courtney
there.
Cox, and I
You're
don't
right.
think they were there.
They were not there.
They
That's
didn't
right.
come
That's
over.
right. That's right.
Anyway, and I'm sitting there, and I was a little kid. Didn't even realize I was there, and they're talking and talking, and you come out and you do this thing, and I'll never forget the look on LeBlanc's face. He was
Yeah.
like, it was almost like, oh.
Yeah, yeah.
So I really do, and his character's name was Joey. I
Right.
do believe that there was a wonderful evolution from your character
was.
through to friends.
There
And
was.
I always tell people, I'm like, there's like Joe kind of had a creation in all.
Oh
of
yeah.
that.
I mean,
And
I got to be honest with you. And by
it's
the way,
super cool that, and also how amazing is it for that character to also live on through Matt LeBlanc?
Oh, it was awesome.
In freaking Friends,
Well,
like
yes,
so cool.
Yes, well, it was really cool
So
because
cool.
I think at the time, the president of NBC at the time, when they were developing Friends, he said, "Listen, because my character was exploding off of Blossom, and I was 15 or 16, 15, and he said we need a 25-year-old Joey Russo."
Right.
So they created Joey Tribianni, as sort of like
That makes sense.
off of that. We need one of these characters, right?
one of those
I don't know
characters, yeah.
exactly how it came about, but it was something like that. So, but you're right. They came over because they were trying to find that perfect tone for that character. And when you're a dummy, when you're dumb or you're less than super intelligent, and you're also like girl crazy,
Yeah.
the innocence has to prevail. Otherwise, you're a womanizing, like lecherous, like
Yeah,
scum.
totally keeps you
But if
likable.
you're innocent
And you're-
with it, and you're like, I just love her.
Why-
boobs are
why-
amazing. I just love it.
Why do you think
know?
Matt LeBlanc's how you do?
Right,
Works
exactly
so
right,
well
yeah,
because
yeah.
that could be a lecherous,
telling
nasty
me?
man.
Yeah, right. And Joey Russo was obsessed with girls
Same
and
thing.
boobs and butts.
Yeah.
He could say anything because he was so innocent.
was
Dad,
innocent. He was
did
like a
you
little
see
baby,
the
a little
chest on
kid.
that woman? She had the biggest boob. Joe, please. You know what I mean? Okay, so you
Yeah.
could get away with it.
That's
So
right.
and he came back.
Or get thrown in jail.
Or get thrown in jail. He came back. Well, it was a different time too, but he came back, for a few episodes after that.
I didn't even know
and
that.
watched me play it.
Gotcha.
And sort of, was inspired, in a little way.
Okay.
By the way, you're right though. He then took it.
It's
and
like it
ran
was
with
like an evolution of the character.
It was
so
great.
cool.
So full circle,
Yes.
back to the surfer version of
Yes.
Whoa.
So anyway, so we were in front of our live audience, and I'll never forget it. And they were laughing during the week at the joke because you have these run-throughs, right, for the
Right.
writers and producers, and they laugh at their own jokes. It's sort of like insider trading, like what an amazing joke! Aha!
This is
we
by the way,
wrote it.
This is just to set the stage here. This is sitcom television,
Right.
4-camera,
Multi-camera,
live audience,
right. Old school.
It's kind of like a mix between a
Theater,
Broadway show,
right.
a theater show, and a television
Right.
show. So that's
So anyway,
what's going on.
so we practice in front of the writers and producers every week, and then when you get in front of the live audience, it's the first time you're in front of an audience that didn't have something to do with the show.
Again,
other
let
than
me
just
set the
fans.
table for this. Mondays, depending on the week schedule. Mondays, you have a table read. Maybe
this
you
is old
talk
school.
over.
It's all
old
different
school.
now, but this is the way I used to do it.
No, they still works this way.
Mondays, table read, Tuesday,
Actually,
Wednesday,
Andy's
blocking
right.
rehearsals. They know.
The process has been degraded so much. They
Now
use
you shoot on
fake laugh
Thursdays,
tracks
they
and
do
all this
laugh-
stuff.
yeah, this is
that
a
I
whole-
don't like.
Yeah.
Multicam doesn't even mean the same thing anymore.
I know, I
You
know.
see
I know.
multicam and they'll go to like a single camera comedy, and you're like,
I know.
that's not
So-
even
I know.
multicam.
So
right?
here's okay.
We had
So
two cameras.
So exactly, old school.
Michael
exactly.
J.
Two
Fox used
cameras.
to explain this the best, just to give you a little insight as to what it's like as a performer in front of an audience like that on a live
Doc,
show.
are you telling me this thing's nuclear? Good. Sorry.
Michael J. Fox, obviously, he got his start in Family Ties, a sitcom on television.
and was
Big
brilliant.
one. He was brilliant.
Oh, Michael P. Keaton. Oh my
Brilliant.
God.
Now he wasn't. He was the smart intellect. He was the opposite of that character.
So great.
Now, here's the funny thing. They flipped it on the script. They made the lead character, the standout character, the smart one, and the rest of the family have the problem.
Right.
That was the crux of that show. But
Why are you talking only to them? I feel like you've.
I don't know, because I'm filling them in on the way to sitcom. So anyway, you have
I always
Mondays.
play to my audience,
Mondays
Andy.
you come in, table read. And when I say table read, I mean it's a long table, about 100 people in the room.
Right.
And you got to perform because they're going to go in and they're going to do rewrites and notes just even off of a
And
table
if your jokes
read.
don't land, they get cut.
Cut.
And they may not replace him with more lines.
No,
for
they just
you.
might take him out.
They might just kind of
Trim
you
you
don't
down.
blame them, but they write to the people that deliver. Just like in sports, they cut the plays for the people that deliver.
Because
I
it's
mean,
not
at
a
the end of the
bad
day-
joke. It's obviously delivered badly.
Right. I mean, that's right.
And I'll
true.
tell you what though, the sitcom training saved my ass on
Mine too.
on a big project once.
Yeah.
I went in big. I mean, they were big comedic people.
Are we talking about you all of a sudden?
Yeah,
I thought we were
sorry.
talking about
Whatever
me.
happened to this woe? Are we
Adam
ever going to hear this
Sandler's
damn
there.
thing?
All these people are there. Really cool comedic people.
Where's the woe from?
If I didn't have my sitcom training, I would have been in trouble. And unfortunately, one of the other actors, great actor, and he's gone on to do good stuff. He wasn't prepared, didn't have that training, and they let him go. I mean,
Yeah,
I was
that's-
shocked.
no, it is pretty
I was like,
cutthroat.
nobody's safe.
Yep. Nobody's safe.
That's Andy's, by
That
the
is
way.
my old saying.
catchphrase.
Yeah.
Nobody's
That's
safe.
my catchphrase.
You got to do your table read. Then they rewrite
Let's talk
it.
about Joe's catchphrase.
Come back, you rehearse. You do a run through with all the lights on. It's really kind of thing. Next day, rehearse another run through, but for the network, the lights are down.
right.
Then the audience comes in.
That's right.
And Michael J. Fox has the coolest thing. When it was real and you had a real live audience, they were real fans that were invested in the show. You have this relationship with the audience. It's like switching the gears on a car.
Yes.
You can feel them. When my eyes are on the other actor, my ears and my mind are actually out in the audience.
Right.
And this is Michael J. Fox, isn't me, but when he said it, I was like, that's the first time I've heard anybody nail it
Right,
specifically
describe it
what it is.
correctly.
So you're building up, you're shifting your gears, you're listening. It's almost like a hum. You can hear the creaks in the chairs as the audience leans forward. You can feel the gasp, the anticipation, and that's the timing when you nail your joke and you change your gear. And you can feel the rev of the engine, the rev of the audience energy.
And you feed off of that.
And you can hit it. And when you get good at it, I mean, you're just like, boom, laugh,
yep,
boom,
yep,
laugh,
yep.
switch that gear.
It
laugh.
is a
And
rhythm.
It's not the other actor. You're
No.
totally looking like you're invested. Your mind and your ear is on the audience.
They are an
It's
essential
it's one-
character in
it's one of the
multi-camera.
greatest experiences I've ever
In
had.
my opinion, it's why a
as
lot
an
of
actor.
multi-cameras today do not work because they've lost an ability to understand that musicality and that rhythm.
They don't do
and
the laugh tracks. The audience, they're doing applause and laughter.
I know.
This is all
I
true.
know.
That's
I hate
not
to
the
admit
way
it,
it
but this
went
is all
down.
true.
You know,
You
way
know,
it went down.
back in the day, and this happened in Welcome Back, Kotter. It happened in Happy Days. It happened when I walked out. You'd walk out, and they'd break into screaming and
Yeah,
applause.
dude, when you
And-
got walked out, they would for like minutes,
And they would let it go
didn't
into
they-
the live edit.
They threw panties at you and
Right,
stuff.
right.
Like,
So
know what I
you
mean?
would let that go. You come out, wow! They'd scream.
I remember as a
And
little
they'd let it
kid,
go,
I was like,
and they let
"Mom,
it
what's
go."
this?"
It was
And it was-
crazy.
it was-
Yeah. But
yeah.
then you kept them, and it was very. No,
I still have 'em.
You still, you're so weird.
Yeah.
No. So anyway, we
strange.
were in front of our live show, and all week they thought this was the way it should be, right? And I was still young, so I was only 14 or 13 at the time, and I wasn't sure it was right. I thought, I don't know, man. This, whoa, Dad, whoa.
This is live taping though, so you've gone
Right.
the whole week. You've rehearsed. Whoa.
Oh yeah. So
Getting laughs?
I mean, well, the writers were laughing, but they wrote it, so they understood the intention.
You know what's funny?
What?
This is a funny point, and I think you'll get me on this.
Okay.
The laugh that you would get in the run-throughs and the rehearsals, because the writers were not just trying to laugh at their own jokes, but also give you a little bit of the
Rhythm,
timing
right,
rhythm,
right.
is now what they use as laugh tracks today.
It is.
That used to be like the flat. Yeah, the flat. You
Horrible.
can't use that.
Horrible.
Well,
It's just to
because-
give you time.
well, because
and now
they're
that's,
not-
I watch sitcom. I'm like,
because
Terrible.
they're not
They're
real.
using
They're not
the
real
fake-
laughs. They're
No, they're not.
pre-recorded laughs, so you can feel what you know.
It's
All
terrible,
right,
man.
but stay
So
on.
anyway,
stay on course.
so I said it right. I forget what the line was, but I was like, it precursed the lines. It was like, "Whoa, Dad, are you serious?" Okay, and crickets, nothing, because it really wasn't that funny. Okay,
Yeah.
and so
you know what it is? You're not that communication. You're not letting the audience know
right?
that they can laugh at you.
Right.
They're not mean. You got to let them know that they can laugh at you.
That's right.
And that
That's right.
line, whoa.
Right.
That doesn't make
it
me
was
think I can
serious.
laugh
It's
at
low-
it.
was also
it's low
serious.
energy. It's just not the right
low
vibe
energy,
for what you're
And
going
they wanted
for.
me to go right into the line. So it was, "Whoa, Dad, you can't be serious."
Well, because they were worried that it wasn't
Right.
getting a laugh.
Right. So we
Yeah.
did it 2 or 3 times. It wasn't working. So in between takes, when you have your live audience, they're constantly rewriting. So you get, sometimes they rewrite whole scenes.
Oh, yeah.
if they haven't done their job throughout the week, you know, and the scene's not
sometimes
good.
it just doesn't.
It just doesn't work. Anyway,
falls flat.
Right.
Yeah.
So at any rate, they come in, you huddle around the
I love that moment.
stage manager.
Yeah,
When they all run in, and
Right,
you know
right.
you got an audience waiting
Right,
for
right.
you,
It's
and
like a
you're all
football
like,
huddle. It's like
yeah,
a
it's
feel.
so
That's
cool.
what it's
All right,
like.
guys,
That's a
listen,
good feeling.
this is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the play.
Yeah.
All right, you take it around here.
Here's
Remember,
an
you're
alternative
blocking?
line for
We'll
you.
switch in that blocking.
Here's an
Yeah.
alternative line for you, and alternative line for you. So I'll never forget it. You know, and Don Rio comes in, who created the show.
yeah.
I love you, Don. He's an amazing, incredible genius for half hour. You know, and he comes in, he says, Joe. You know, and I'm a kid, but like I love it because they don't treat you like a kid.
Treat you like an
because-
adult. It's
Yeah,
real.
they do.
It's business,
Joe,
man.
All right, so
Stakes
look,
are high.
this is not working. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you one shot. Try something different. And I was like, what do I try? He's like, just do whatever you want to do, whatever comes naturally to you. If it doesn't work, we'll rewrite it.
Yeah.
We just want to give it. Just forget everything we said all week.
Yeah, because it's just messing
Right.
you up at this point.
Now, also, how kudos to you because also as an actor, especially as a young
Stay on
kid-
point.
No, yeah.
No extra cool.
Well, no. I'm gonna just magnify something that Joe was about to do because in that situation, when a head authority figure on a show comes to
Yeah.
you and basically says what you're doing is not working, and you've got one shot to do it right. It's just a lot of pressure.
It is
I mean,
a lot of
it's not. You're a lot of stuff's
Well,
going
and
through
I
your
was
head.
told to do it this way.
You know, it's like you got to
So,
stay in the
you know,
game,
I
right?
know. Wait,
Yeah.
I got
So-
something.
I didn't
to
have
add
a
to
week
this.
to
Sorry,
find
another
it.
little
Oh, boy.
detraction that I've never talked about as kids. Andy just kind of mentioned there were high stakes in
gonna
our
make a great
generation
joke
coming
there.
up. Like,
make a
remember,
great
Give Me a
joke.
Break,
Yeah.
Joe? Do you remember how we did it on Give Me a Break?
Oh yeah, dude.
Man, there was no 7 and 4-year-old in the room.
No, there was not. There was.
It was
not.
adult
If we didn't
time.
get to that table where you didn't kill it, lines
Who's
were
the
gone.
guy who did the creator and the director of that show?
Hal Cooper,
Hal Cooper.
Rod Parker.
Oh my gosh, these guys
are famous.
These guys, I know the names, but
Old
these guys
school,
are
man.
old school legends.
and yeah,
in
worked
sitcom.
on like Mary Tyler Moore Show and Maude, and you know
They
like,
were
yeah, big,
they
huge.
they treat us like adults.
They did. They
like
did.
it or not. They
We
treat
didn't
us
even
like
get to
adults.
rehearse on sound stages in that show.
Yep.
No, they
we
would tape
rehearsed
it
in
off.
rehearsal halls,
Yeah.
and there was tape on the floor.
They wanted to be
So
fresh.
the
And-
kitchen set would be just
Dude,
tape
check
and a
this out.
table.
Hold on, full circle.
You pantomimed a lot.
That's how a
the whole-
lot
all week.
A lot of like mocap and stuff is done now for
really?
like in video games. and
Because
a
you
lot
do
of
a lot
movies.
of the
It's like
video
yeah.
game stuff.
old-
So it's gone full circles. I did that when I first was like 3-4 years old, and then it disappeared for 25 years. And then I walk
Now
into a
it's back.
soundstage where there's structures taped off. I'm like, oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
I
it's
get
good
it.
to be
This is-
back.
The sitcom
Good to be back,
training.
baby.
I'm
Good to be
telling
back,
you.
baby.
But no, I have another little story quickly
my
about
God!
this. So you were talking about how they were treated like adults and this and that. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm coming off of Brotherly Love. I get a call from a
Brotherly Love. What the hell was that? I mean,
the show that we all had as boys.
Just kidding.
A
Coming off of
sitcom that
Brotherly
we were
Love,
all on.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a sitcom we were all on.
Michael
Good.
Jacobs, the creator of Boy Meets World,
Yeah.
calls.
Right.
It says, Matt, to whom, I guess my mom, I guess he called mom.
Yeah.
She was our manager at that
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
And he, I
The
really want-
momager.
Momager.
Yeah.
I really want to have lunch with, your son. I want you to be there. So my mom and I, we had lunch with Michael. It was great.
No, what if the story was different? I really want to have lunch with you.
I wanted to.
Yeah.
I
Called
wanted,
mom, you know?
I mean, I've had those in this business as well. But
Yeah, yeah.
It's true.
But we went to lunch, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know, Mom. The whole teen thing, because I watched Joe go through the massive teen thing, so I fought it hard.
Yeah, you don't want to have anything to do with it.
I didn't want anything to do with the teenage thing because I saw the teen just drop off into the oblivion of nowhere, and it's like,
Right,
how do
right.
you do that young to
They
adult?
build you up only to break you down.
To break it down. So
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want any parts of that.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe I shouldn't do this Boy Meets World thing. Anyway, Mom, I got to give it to you. Thank you for insisting, literally insisting that I do Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
Because it's become such a blessing for any actor to have that in their career. But the story is, I get on there. Now, I'm coming out of our family environment just to set the stage. So we have our own pace, our own way of doing things and this and that. I get on, and I think, I'm going to do what I've been doing my whole life. Get in there. It was a terrible first run-through for me.
Yeah.
And we have this thing called notes, these note sessions after the run-through. We sit down. Michael says, I got 161 notes. It's going to be a little bit of a long session today, probably like 45 minutes, so just hang in there.
Matt, they're all for you.
No,
Exactly right.
Oh my god.
Oh, really?
Except one. There's only one other note that wasn't to me.
Wow.
What?
Yeah,
Oh
he
my
dressed me
God.
down. And a lot of people have talked
I'm
about
glad I was
this.
wearing boxer briefs. Wait,
A lot of people have talked about this, about how, he had a certain way of doing
Maybe
things.
stand there in front of the whole crew. What the
He had a
hell?
certain way of doing things.
Hose me.
And for children, sometimes
Jello
it came off
shots.
as abrasive or whatever you want to say, right? But I got to tell you, I go in there, he dressed me down. I had the same reaction to it. I was like, can't believe it, birth. But I got through that night.
Yeah.
I went in there the next day, and I had an amazing run through. And I'll tell you why. It's because he didn't candy coat it, he didn't sugarcoat it, and that's the way it's been throughout the career. So I actually wanted to thank Michael.
Yeah.
Because that dress down saved me
I've
from
gotten a few of those.
annihilation in front of the network.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Look, that's
And
true.
saved me from annihilation on tape night. Because I don't know if I would have gotten there if he didn't get inside and take all the stuff that I've been doing on our show, get it out of there, because it's a different timing, it's a different cadence, it's a different audience.
Right.
Different
Playing
game.
to a
Right.
whole
Different
different
game.
game. And he taught me that.
Listen.
Different
I thank you
playbook.
so
was-
much,
yeah.
Michael. I thanks for the experience.
Yes, and I feel the same way about my experience in the shows and the people that I work for, because it was accountability. They forced you to
Accountability.
have it.
Absolutely.
It wasn't. They didn't make excuses for you.
So they
Youth doesn't require excuses.
they put it on your shoulders.
It's teachable moments, but not excuses. Excuses just breed more mistakes.
That's true. They
You
hold you
take
responsible.
accountability. You can make
Yeah.
changes.
And here's
not
another
make the same
point that I
mistake
got to
again.
make. And I think, because coming from us as kids, as
Some point
when
we'll
you're
get back to
working
Wilder,
as a
right?
I was
kid,
just about to get
as you're
there.
working as a kid, once you reach about, if you've been lucky enough to be
Really
working,
obnoxious.
once you reach about 11 or 12, I don't know if you experienced this, but I know I've seen this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Actors forget that they were on set at 11 to 12, and they look at these authority figures. I can't believe they talked to me that way.
Right.
It's like, you were a child. They were being stern, and they were telling you what needed to be done as if a teacher or any other
Like a coach.
Like a
Like a
coach.
good coach.
Like a good coach. We forget that. We think
It's true, yeah.
we think of ourselves as actors as an adults. We weren't adults. That's why they were. That's why they treat us like a parent or and yelled at us when we were acting off.
Right.
That's
Right.
why.
That's right.
We were kids.
You were kids, but being a kid still, they held you accountable, and
Yes.
and you were on the same level as adult, because
Oh,
the
yeah.
stakes were as high for that child as it was for the network exec, as it was for the leads of the show. It was everybody was on an even plane, which
you would
I
lose your
loved.
job.
There is no
'cause,
age.
there is no age.
Because
Kids
we're all
would have like, if
teammates.
kids didn't work.
Well, if it doesn't work for the show and the audience isn't laughing or the audience doesn't like it, whatever, then the show is not working, and then that's everybody's job. So, but back to responsibility and being held accountable. It was on your shoulders to do something different. You
Right.
were in the bottom of the ninth.
Bottom of the ninth.
You had,
2 out.
You had your circle
Right.
well
2
not
strikes.
working.
Right, so-
and the creator comes up to you as a child and says,
Right.
"Dude, you know,
Right.
nicely
You got-
says,
right. You
got
got
to
to just try something. He said, I know we've been telling you to do it this week, all week like this, but just do what you do. If not, we're just going to cut it and we'll find something else for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
so
could
I
have
was
been a
like-
disaster. I
Right.
mean, who
well,
knows?
It would have been. It certainly would have.
The whole
changed
character
things.
would not have popped
The
like that.
trajectory
You know
of
what
your
I
whole
mean?
career
Yeah.
could have
Right.
changed.
Right.
Because
It really could've.
people were scream that to this day at you across the streets. And
Oh,
stuff.
everywhere.
Back in the day,
And
it was
it's
nuts.
generational,
But okay,
too.
so it goes
Like,
on
it
your
literally is
shoulders.
generational.
Yeah,
Because I got the-
yeah, so it's on
So
your shoulders.
anyway, and I'll never forget it. The scene was with one of my favorite people in the whole world, Ted Wass, who played my
yeah,
dad.
Ted's
best.
cool. He lives in our
So-
neighborhood.
I know he
best.
does.
I see him
all
every
the
night.
time.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
gotta
I love
get
Ted.
him on the show.
Believe it or not,
Get him on the pod.
years
The
later,
pod to pod,
when-
baby.
the pod to pod, we will. Years later, when Ted became a amazingly incredible multi-camera director, and
Yeah,
went
that's
on
right.
directed Spin City with Michael J. Fox. speaking of that.
Amazing stuff,
But
yeah.
also, we were lucky enough to hire him to direct the pilot of Melissa and Joey,
Very
and he
cool.
got that show off to a good start, and then it became
awesome.
a big hit and ran for 100 plus episodes, right?
Great.
So at any rate, it was a scene with him, and we had some of the best lines
You
together.
did. You guys did.
The
We
dung
did.
beetle, the dang beetle. What was that? I've never
Yeah.
forgotten
No,
that.
how about this one though?
Oh.
How about this one? Anyway, let me tell this story, and I'll tell you something else because
We'll
my
wrap it up.
brain's racing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
also,
Mine is too, by the way. I got like 8 things to say.
Hold on, finish.
talking
Let him
about
finish.
talking about
Finish.
Matt LeBlanc and about how those characters were so similar. Believe it or not, they were so similar and so inspired by one another that Matt LeBlanc had a Donald Duck no pants joke a season after I had a Donald Duck no pants joke.
No
Yeah,
way!
for sure.
Which is one of my favorite
because
jokes,
it was
yeah.
great. It was like, Dad, can I ask you a rhetorical question? He was like, Joe, you know what a rhetorical question is, don't you? He says, it's one that you know the answer to. And I'm like, Dad, if I knew the answer, why would I be asking the question? What's your question, Joe?
Wait.
So I was like, why doesn't Donald Duck wear pants? Joe, he doesn't need pants because he has feathers. And I literally like this. This is the greatest line was the one coming up, and I was like, oh. He was like, write it down this time.
This time, you've asked before. That's the actual joke.
Right.
God.
Okay.
Write it down this
That's
time.
the joke.
Yeah,
okay.
Love it.
That's the
So
home run.
believe it or not, they had a version, an amalgamation of that
Right.
joke, and Joey Tribbiani said a version of that later.
Very
anyway,
cool.
All right, so
so
Seaman
this
Ted
was,
lost.
right. Seaman Ted, and I
Surfer
remember what it
Wo's
was
not
like.
working.
Like it was like, whoa, Dad, what are you saying? Okay. So he was saying something, giving me some girl advice he was always giving me, right? Like, why won't Becky talk to me at school? He's like, whoa, Dad, what are you saying, right? So I didn't know what to do. So he was great, and Ted was, he was on Soap. I mean, he was like the veteran on our show. We were all, and he said, listen, just don't think about it. Just do whatever it comes to.
Oh, Ted did that
Yeah.
too. Oh, cool.
And
I
was
didn't know
like,
that.
because I was like,
That's
what,
really cool.
what should I do? He's like,
Very cool.
Don't think about it. He said, look, you're a really funny dude. Just don't think about it. So I walk in and I said, Dad, Becky wants to show me. I think it was like Becky wants to make out with me or kiss me or go to second base. And he's like, then you got to go to second base, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
And without thinking about it, I literally went, whoa. And I stopped.
Hey!
And I stopped.
He did it again. We got two.
I didn't run the line together.
Oh.
And I stopped, and,
and
the
the
audience
audience went,
broke into laughter.
Oh.
And we were sitting there, and I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. Ted looked at me, and he literally went like this. He went in the show. He literally went like that.
That's awesome. I love
And
those
I
moments. It's cool.
And when they finished the laughing, I was like, "What are you saying right now?" So it became its own line.
yeah.
Home run.
And at the end of the take, Don Rio came up and was like, "That's it. Do it again." So
Wow.
we did it again. And now there was no social media, right? So
Yeah.
that episode aired, and it took about 6 weeks, 7 weeks. And all of a sudden,
Oh, my God.
fan letters started to pile in because we were
Right.
getting like 25, 30, 40,000 letters a week.
You remember that? So the fan
oh,
letters
the
used to.
boxes.
Guys, we could do a whole
Boxes.
we could do a whole pod to pod on some of the
We
crazy
can.
Oh my
fan
God.
letters.
We should.
Back
Because they
in
were
the day.
amazing.
They
So
were
the
good.
fans
good
for
and
us-
bad. Like as
Fans
all,
have been amazing.
No,
I mean,
most of the time,
you guys
it's
are
100%.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and they started to
there's
roll
some
in
crazy
saying
things, too.
the whoa, oh my gosh, the whoa,
Wow.
the whoa, the
Cool.
whoa, the whoa, and the live audiences, I'd start to walk out
Screaming out
and,
woes and
whoa,
stuff?
whoa,
Yeah.
and it everywhere I went.
3, 4.
Then we did these, remember,
Oh, I remember.
the autograph signings?
Everywhere we went.
30,000 people show up at a mall
Yeah,
to
I
sign
remember.
autographs
Now-
for 2 hours.
There's a furthering of this now.
Yeah.
Flash.
So then,
flash forward.
you
a year-
guys-
Well, you want to go there first?
Well, you guys, what you said, I want to say it was really cool because in subsequent seasons, you played Joey Russo
I was
at
very-
a
I
younger
got to
age,
do
and
that.
you
That was
played
super
Joey
cool.
Russo,
I did.
and then I had to teach you guys how to say whoa.
Yeah.
the most nerve-wracking moment.
That's a gift,
One of the
by
most
the way.
nerve.
You can look up the gifts.
Great.
They're gifts.
So you got a gif of me at a very tumultuous
and me
time
going,
in my
no,
life.
Matt, it's whoa.
In the
and
most
you going,
nervous. I mean,
whoa.
I don't know if you can see. I've never seen the gif. I don't know how old was I.
A lot of pressure.
You were
I
probably maybe 12.
I'm dying.
Yeah.
I'm dying. I'm
right, because I
I'm
was like
literally
I was like
dying.
15, 16.
Because you had the
he
pressure
was-
of filling his older brother's
I had
shoes.
to do his whoa like
Oh.
on set, and I didn't get it. It
No,
flopped.
you were doing it, but we had to get you there. I was like, no. If
It
you
was a
look it up,
disaster.
you look it up. It's really incredible to see that as a gift. But you look it up and you go like, I was like, no,
disaster for
Matt,
me.
you're good. I was like, come on. It's like, whoa, and you go, what? Whoa, right? And I'll be like, no, come on. It's like, whoa. That's right. And then seasons later, Andy played Joey Russo as a little kid, and you had to do it.
I did,
So let's see what your best whoa is.
Whoa.
Not bad.
Not
All right,
bad.
so whoa. Nice.
I almost mimicked yours pretty
That's
much.
pretty
Love
good,
it.
man. Pretty good. Well, we have a similar
yeah.
timbre, so
We do.
It's genetics,
Yes,
and
it's
then it is-
me, my dad, and Joe, and Andy a little bit, but Dad, Joe, and I, for some reason, our voices are almost indistinguishable.
It's
on the
weird.
phone.
It's very weird.
strange.
Very weird.
A lot
Yeah.
of people are like, "Oh, hey, Joe," and I'm like, "No, this is Matt."
Yep.
Oh,
Hey, Matt. This
That's
is Joe.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe. This is Matt.
Yeah.
This is.
All right, let's wrap this up really quick.
wait. So I got to say something. But
so- all right, say
then,
your story.
flash forward 3-4 years from now,
We do have to wrap this
Joe's been whoa screamed at him every day, everywhere he goes, and now he's sick of it and can't get away from it. And there's, by the way, I've heard a lot of people talk about
Yes,
this.
it's
This
true.
seems to be the iteration that all actors go through.
Yeah.
You have this insightful moment, this whoa, or this catchphrase.
This lightning
that
in a bottle.
takes you
Right.
all the way up.
That's right.
And then you're up there and you're trying to get away from it. And then you're typecast, and all
Right.
that everybody wants to
Right.
do is say
Right.
your thing, and then all you hear is that, and then you
You go through a journey there, which is where I'm at right
10
now.
years, 20 years later, it becomes, What a gift.
What
to
a
be able
gift.
to have that. That's the
Exactly.
whole
Exactly.
evolution of that
Exactly.
whole thing in a bottle. For
You know,
actors.
you try to you think you need to run, and what you need to do is run toward it. not
Embrace.
away. Embrace it. Realize that.
I mean, look, we
it's
could
the
barely
journey.
think of like 5 or 6 in
I know,
on one
dude.
hand.
I know.
So
Yeah.
it
It
was
was an
rare
amazing
thing to have.
There
in
are
my
rare
life.
generationally. There's 2 or 3, maybe a handful. Like you said,
they
even
get
probably
to
less.
have a catchphrase.
Yeah, less. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
freaking awesome.
No, it was one of the coolest things ever. And, it's crazy because even as big as Friends was, it was a much bigger show than Blossom.
I mean, it just-
obviously, it's one of the top
Seinfeld,
3.
Friends, they go back and forth.
I mean,
for me.
the
Cosby Show,
right? Best ever.
Taxi.
Right. I mean,
Taxi,
ever,
those are
ever,
like the
ever,
tops,
ever.
yeah.
Game of Thrones.
But even, but
Just kidding.
yeah,
Joke. All right, we gotta wrap this up.
No, but
'Cause we have a fan question. We want to hear.
all
a
right, we
fan
will,
question.
but I'll just say this. But even arguably, the whoa is even more repeated than how you doing, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
It is,
Yeah.
even
Oh, yeah.
though that platform and that series was
that
more
how you doing
iconic for
isn't
Friends.
really like, oh, that's Joey's catchphrase.
Right.
It was his catchphrases were kind of spread over
Yeah,
about
he had
5 or
just
6
incredible
different
lines.
lines.
Yeah, it was the
incredible.
character. It was the
Dude,
character.
the writing on that show.
The writing,
Oh
the
my
ensemble
gosh.
cast, the whole thing.
Everything.
That was amazing.
Everything.
It was
Everything
beautiful.
was.
Beautiful.
It was
Beautifully
literally
done.
about as close to perfect as
Exactly.
you can get on Friends. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's why it's transcended
Whoa.
time and space.
Whoa.
Nice, guys. Nice.
See, I always thought that because you were a teenager,
Yeah.
you got nervous and just went to say it one time and your voice cracked.
No.
That's what I honestly thought.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Whoa.
I don't know what happened. I
And
didn't
it
know
worked, and you were like,
honestly, guys,
whoa.
it's a gift. It was literally a gift from God. I have no idea what I was thinking. All I know is that they laughed and broke up the line for me, and I because of my training, I waited for the laugh.
Yeah.
And it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me because then it became a standalone line.
That's awesome.
So I'd walk in and somebody would say, "Joey, what are you doing?" Like, "Whoa!" And I didn't.
Hey!
They didn't even have to
What a
have a
feeling,
line
huh?
afterwards.
No,
That's
yeah,
good.
man,
It's pretty great.
So that's
Pretty
the
great.
origin of
The
whoa.
origin of whoa, guys.
There you go.
Yes, and
You heard it.
Catchphrases.
You heard
Here
it from
first.
the man himself.
Yeah, well, you guys did a pretty good job doing that.
I gotta
It's
work
funny. I
on
haven't
it.
seen you guys. I haven't heard you
I
guys.
haven't said that
Dude,
in
I haven't
20
said it
years.
20
Since that, since
Dude,
I've been
that's
3, 4
crazy.
years old.
That's
know.
crazy. That's
I
crazy.
gotta work on the voice crack a little bit more. I'll get it. We'll practice it.
Yeah, you will.
You go with the air first.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Whoa, whoa,
Yep.
whoa. That wasn't good enough.
It's good.
The air
Whoa, whoa.
That's pretty good.
Andy's face doing it though.
I'm scared. I'm like Matt was. I'm shaking
Yeah.
in my boots.
You guys, if you get a minute,
lot of
look
pressure.
up that clip of me teaching Matt. It's
Yeah, it's
really one
awesome.
of the most, honestly, it's one of the
Yeah.
sweetest
And-
things as a brother. We've always gotten along really great, right? And we really have. Like, we've never had those moments.
Now wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, we definitely have all
Excuse me,
had
real
those
here.
moments.
Joe and I cleared out a living room of
Yeah.
furniture, and I don't mean picked
But
up.
wait a
I mean
minute,
we gotta
because
wrap
we
this
were
up.
in the middle of a
But-
fight. The couch was out one
In-
room. Furniture was
in
knocked
family
over.
stuff, but we've never had those moments where we've disrespected each other
No,
outside ever.
no,
Like
not
what
the
happens in the family, you keep it in the
disrespect.
family. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, but if you watch that moment of like, the brother to brother
No,
thing,
that's
it's
true.
like
That's the way it went
As I
down in our
watched it, it was
family.
just really cool.
Nothing but
Really cool.
respect for my
And love.
brothers.
That's right.
Taught that from the time I was born. I think like anybody else could say anything about these two.
Oh, and
I'll get pissed.
Yep.
I can say it.
that's right.
But not you.
That's right. Anyway, what's up?
Fan question, perhaps?
Ooh, little fan question. All right, cool.
check it out.
All right, so look, that's what we're going to be doing. We got thousands of submissions. We
Yeah.
asked for your
Very
videos.
cool. Thank
Very
you.
We're
cool.
so grateful. We're going to choose them randomly on different episodes and answer your questions, and you will be on the Brotherly Love Pod. So that's what's going to happen right now.
All right, here we
Who
go.
do we have,
It is.
guys? Who do we have?
Celeste.
Okay.
All right, here we go, Celeste.
Hi, my name is Celeste Johnson, and I am from Auburn, New York. My question is, have you three ever thought of doing your own sitcom show? If you were to create a show starring all three of you, what would the show be called, and what would the story be? What would the purpose behind the show be?
Looks like our impact wasn't quite as forceful as we thought it was.
Yeah. Guys, we're going to have to rename this podcast. We're going to have to totally change the name of the pod.
I gotta be honest.
We should-
pretty much all we've done.
Cut. Great.
Hey guys, the Lawrence Brothers here to thank you for tuning in and watching this episode of the Brotherly Love Podcast.
That's right. And to watch clips from this pod, go to the Podco YouTube channel at the link in the description.
And for exclusive weekly bonus content, join our Patreon now. The link is also in the description.
And we will see you guys next week.
Next week.
Next week.